Bunting says PNP downplaying mass shooting incidents. Shadow spokesperson on citizen security Peter Bunting is accusing Prime Minister Andrew Holness of seeking to downplay the latest mass shooting in the Walton Park area in St. Andrew, which claimed 5 lives. Bunting is criticizing Holness' characterization of these killings as a multi-victim violent incident, calling in on the attempt to downplay the frequent incidents of mass shooting, scarring Jamaica's international image and devastating many local communities. The Prime Minister's minimization of the horrific incident is a disservice to the victims and their grieving families. No amount of public relations spin can obscure the grim reality of an increasing trend of mass shooting in our nation, he continued. Bunting also pointed out that as of November 25th, the country's murder count stood at 1,045, unfortunately, rubbishing the Prime Minister's recent projection that we are on track to record fewer than 1,000 murders by year-end. The projection was made in the columns written by Holness and published on November 3rd. With 5 weeks remaining in 2024, the rising figures underscore the failure of the Andrew Holness administration to deliver on promises of people sleeping with their windows and doors open, Bunting noted. Bunting also questioned the completeness of Jamaica's murder statistics. Reports suggest that between 100 to 200 deaths are currently categorized as undetermined, though many of those will ultimately be adjusted to homicides. The Jamaican people deserve full and prompt disclosure from the government in this regard, Bunting noted.
Just today, many international media outlets, including the Associated Press, the Toronto Sun, the Washington Post, ABC News, and others, have all reported this tragic incident at Walton Park Road as a mass shooting. It was also perplexing to see the Prime Minister assert that these killings reflect, and again I quote, our very effective approach in neutralizing, eradicating, and in many respects disbanding gangs. End quote. This kind of bloodshed must never be described as a policing success. What it represents is a profound failure of national security policy and a collapse of public safety in many of our communities.
Tears and gratitude. Emotion was high at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel Ballroom on Tuesday as fallen cops were remembered by their colleagues and families in a treat hosted by Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake. The annual luncheon was like a family gathering, and Commissioner Blake said as much, earning nudge of agreement from the grieving families whose children were the main focus of attention. It's a good feeling. I appreciate everything that they are doing, Danisha Watson told reporters as she held her son Ricardo Richards. The boy's father, who was also named Ricardo Richards, died of a brain tumor last month. He was constantly crying for headaches, and it started affecting his eyes. When he went to the doctor, he found out it was a brain tumor, Watson said, wiping tears from her eyes. Talita Miller, who was the late Detective Sergeant Kevin Main, shares a daughter, Kara May, broke down in tears as she shared how her child was coping with the loss. In the first 2 months, it was hard because every night before she went to sleep, she would ask for him. But then after a while, she would speak like a memory of him because she understands that he's not coming back. Sometimes it gets her down. It's on and off for her, Miller told reporters. Detective Sergeant Main was shot dead in Halfway Tree Police Station in St. Andrew by a man who was being escorted from the nearby court by another policeman in July this year. Miller expressed appreciation for the gesture from the constabulary. I really appreciate it because it makes my daughter see and know that they actually care about her father and also that they want to care for her well-being, she stated. I've seen her smile as much in a while, so this is a great gesture, the mother added. Altiva Lee, whose spouse, Constable Ricardo Spence, died in a motor vehicle crash in St. Catherine in February this year, was equally grateful to the JCF. I think it's a good gesture by the Commissioner, she said. At first I was nervous and emotional, but I am happy that Renardo was a part of the JCF because his department, the Spanish Town Traffic Department, they have been Kajani's family from his death. She said her late spouse colleagues have been keeping in touch with her and her son, ensuring that he's in school and that he's doing well. Hayes' claim falls, says NWC board. The National Water Commission NWC board has rubbished a declaration by opposition spokesman on water Ian Hayes that it had no role in Prime Minister Andrew Holness's announcement of a 3-month amnesty for customers in arrears. Hayes made the claim Tuesday morning during a news conference of the office of the opposition leader in St. Andrew, saying that the Prime Minister's announcement on Sunday at the 81st annual conference of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party was a knee-jerk reaction that shows desperation on the part of the government. Under the amnesty, this is set to begin on January 2, 2025. Pensioners and other individuals assessed as being in need based on the Program of Advance to a Health and Education path could see all of their outstanding NWC debt written off. In response, Hayes told journalists at the news conference this wasn't a decision which was taken by the board of the NWC before the Prime Minister came and made the announcement. However, the NWC board says his assertions are false and that they were consulted before the announcement and given the opportunity to provide feedback to strengthen the policy direction. This announcement is an extension of the NWC's Receivables Management Plan already in operation in Portmore. The board fully supports the plan announced by the Prime Minister and Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation to ease the burden of the cost of living for Jamaicans while providing greater access to water, the board said in a statement. During the news conference, he said the policy was not properly thought through. He claimed that up to Monday, staff at the NWC were calling the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to ascertain the number of Jamaicans who are on path and how many are pensioners. So, this was not well thought through. It was a knee-jerk reaction, and it shows a level of desperation on the part of the government. He said, adding that in the end, no more than 10% of the NWC's 5,470 customers will benefit in any way. He said that up to 350,000 customers of the water utility are in some form of delinquency, with approximately $150,000 not paying any bills at all. Additionally, he said the state-owned company is owed a staggering $52 billion. Hayes also said that customers who were delinquent between 0 and 5 years owed $13 billion, 6 to 14 years owed $15 billion, 15 years and over owed $24 billion. At the same time, $3.3 billion is collected monthly from paying customers, he noted. This government has been there for 9 years now and has done nothing about it, he stated. He suggested that the majority of the 350,000 non-paying customers will not benefit in any significant way from the announced amnesty and reminded that between 2012 and 2016, when the PNP last formed the government, it had introduced a social water mechanism within the NWC under which customers and those on path paid a flat rate of around $500. He questioned why it was discontinued. The NWC customer base cannot tell you who is a customer from who is a part beneficiary, he said, and argued that a more meaningful way to help would be to offer a flat rate or a cap on the average 3,000 gallons of water used by each household monthly. Another thing is that you pay dollar for dollar in terms of sewage and water. You could cut back. You could have made an announcement if you really want to help those who are suffering. You could reduce the sewage cost and anywhere between 25 and 50%, he noted. After 9 years of the JLP administration, there's no prosperity and there's no hardship on the land, but in this party PNP, we agree to help the poor, help the pensioners, and all the other stakeholders. But it must be met with a clear policy framework, research, consultation, board approval, management execution that speaks to the clear vision of the NWC, stated Hales. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.